In the middle of the Maim of Porach Mateh Aharon, and we're up to the second paragraph of Ois Hey. We are holding 2 lines up from the bottom of the page. So here the Rebbe is explaining how it works in the Nefesh Adam, that as you come from making up your mind to do something, either in Seichel or once you even begin to think it out, that there can be barriers going from one level to the other. So we have a general level, which is, I understand this has got to happen. That's the understanding. From that understanding to an action plan is a step. Not necessarily you're going to go understand it should be like this. Now you have to make an action plan. When it comes actually to making the plan and thinking it out, you might decide it doesn't flow automatically. You might decide, that we won't do it. Similarly, once you have an action plan, it's already in machshava, to come now to the next level of speaking about it. Because in most cases, you have to talk about it, get other people involved, other things involved outside of you. And so it goes through the next level from machshava to dibur, from the understanding, the action plan to actually speaking about it. And then you have also, it not necessarily, there's a flow. We've got the 2 general barriers or hiccups. One is that it doesn't flow straight away with an automatic. And second of all, when it actually comes to doing something on the next level, either making the plan or speaking about it, and later we'll see actually doing it, you might decide it's not worth it, that other things get in the way, and decide against it. So we're holding 2 lines up in the middle of the line, the second line at the bottom of the page. It says, Al derech zehu b'hamshoch v'machshava l'dibur. So too, when you come from machshava, from the action plan, you figured it all out, l'dibur, to speaking about it. Since speech is lower than thinking, because thinking you do to yourself, it's in your head. But when you're talking, you got to go out of yourself and talk to somebody else. And sometimes, for some people, it's very difficult. They can have a whole plan in their head, but then now, if you want to get them to talk about it to somebody else, it's a real hassle. I don't like talking to people. I have to put it into words that they're going to understand. What if they don't understand me? What if it's not clear? It becomes a whole inner process and maybe full of anxiety. I have to talk about it now to somebody else. Leave me alone. Is therefore, that's one level. Another level is just getting the right words. Just getting into the mode and the right words to talk to somebody else is l'chein. Hamshochem shem b'machshava l'dibur ho'idei yikov. Therefore, coming from the action plan from machshava to speaking about it, you also got this barrier. It's not an order. And you've got these 2 levels that we said before. It's not automatic. And when it comes now, I actually got to talk to somebody about it, I might hold back for whatever reason. It might be too difficult. I feel too insecure. They might not listen. Do I have the right words? How will I be received? I've got to go through the whole effort of making it exactly. How old is the person? Will it fit this age and that age? It's a whole problem. So therefore, it's not automatic. At least we see that there are barriers on the way from machshava to dibur. To machshava metzat atzmai ein mechayev as a dibur. Just because you have an action plan, that doesn't mechayiv, it doesn't force, it doesn't make automatically. You're going to have the dibur. She'ef sheyisha in v'machshavtoi. Because it could just stay in his mind, and he won't even think about talking about it. I've got the plan, so I'm good. It's like if you would put it on, you put it on paper, and then you just leave it. You just leave it on the paper. There's nothing else. Even he won't even think about talking about it. The same mizu is When it comes actually just to speak about it, is that yeshes sofik. There's a sofik. He's not sure if he should do it, and so he has to reevaluate if he should go through the effort and the energy to speak about it. And why? The kivin shemachshava hu liyatzmai v'dibu luzalosei, because you're going to a whole different area. Thinking is just for myself. To speak, it takes the effort to go out to somebody else. So they're different worlds. The world of machshava I can just keep all internal. Dibur, it's outside. It takes effort. That's a jump. You can really feel how it's a different level. V'lachein, gam li achrei, even after shehichlet b'negei l'machshava, even after you made up that you're actually going to make an action plan, you're thinking about it. Hu mesupek yadayim in lahavi zeh gam b'dibur legalis luzalosei. He's not sure if he should actually bring it out into speech and say it to somebody else. It's a whole different world. It's a lot more effort, and I'm not sure with all the different insecurities that could come as a result. The insecurities is one level, and the essence of the difference between thinking and speaking, it's a whole different world. And also, what you have in a very short amount of time in thought takes a long time to put it into speech. For example, you can walk into a room, see a whole room in one moment, everything that's there. If you're going to describe it to somebody else, it takes a lot of time. You're going to find the right words. There's a ceiling, there's walls, there's books, there's chairs, there's tables, and there's carpet. The whole thing, and describe how it is with colors, positioning, everything. So to go from thought to speech, even in something simple like that, it's a whole different world. And so too, and we call it in different words, processing language. There are people that are good in their heads, but when it comes down to processing language, to get it to the next level, to communicate, it's difficult. Multiple levels in that. So here we're saying in general, from the thoughts to speech, it's a different world, different, and so there's this barrier. And now you're going, it's further outside of the person, from dibur to action. The kivin shaham maisa is nifred yosem dibur, since action is further out of the person. It's nifred, it's separated from the person. You're dealing with items outside of you. So it takes more effort and energy to go into that world. To actually, and a silly example, okay, I can talk about changing a light fixture or changing a bulb. I've got to actually bend down, pick up the bulb, stand on the chair, reach up to the light and do it. I'll tell somebody else to do it. There's effort that's involved going from talking about it to doing. And if it's a bigger project, so then it's even more. Because it's got to do with not just in my own energy. I've got to deal with stuff around me in the world that's outside. So it's a further step out. Talking, I could just talk. But to do, I've got to put more effort and energy into it. It's a whole different world. And so therefore, and you see, from talking to doing, oftentimes there's a gap. They say talk is cheap. Well, and it does take effort, but but you've got the lachain. You've also got this barrier from talking to action. You've got these two levels. What are they? Just from talking doesn't spur you into action. You could just say words. You can. And then to come from actually doing it, from speaking to doing it, you have to reevaluate. Have another internal committee meeting with yourself. is it worth the effort to go and actually do it? Maybe I don't have the time, maybe I don't have the effort, maybe it's too difficult, maybe I don't have the pieces. So it's a whole other bother to go from the speaking to the actual doing. And therefore you have to reevaluate. And also that there's a unique connection between thought and speech. And what's that? That speech and thought have a deeper relationship with them than speech to action. Why? Because those letters, the very thought patterns, the letters that you thought about in your action plan in your head, that you speak about, it's the same world of letters. The inner energy is the same. This is letters and this is letters. But the action, reaching out and doing stuff, it's not letters. It's a whole different world. Not only it's not internal within the person, it's with stuff outside of him, a whole different world than the letters that you thought about in the plan and you put into actual words. And therefore, going from dibur into action, from that world of speaking about it into the actual world of doing something, then that barrier in the two ways, it's not automatic. You go from speaking to doing, and then when you come to doing, that you might reevaluate, you need to reevaluate. In those two steps, since action is further away from the person, is further outside of the person, is a ikiv is gadol yoser. It's a greater barrier, greater stopping point. When you go from machshava to dibur, since because it's more effort to get to do something because it's outside of you, so therefore in these two areas it's a greater barrier. So, and we'll see in Ois Vav how these steps match the flow of energy from Hashem into our world, and the biggest deal for us in our world is we need it in Gashmias, and so that's why getting it to hit our world of Gashmias, also you've got these levels of judgment coming all the way down.